So doing a little science experiment today. These are the fittings for the Hydro Boost line relocation kit, braided kit. So I got to boil the nylon bushing seals to get them to stretch enough to fit over the fittings. So I'm gonna do this real quick. I got that one separated because that's the one for the power steering pump. These are for the rack. I think I'm only going to end up using one of these, but I'm going to go ahead and do them both just in case. But I'm going to let these boil for a little bit, and then once they're able to stretch over the threads, we'll call it good. Then I'm going to head to the garage and install this stuff. But this is the stuff that sucks to do and you're away from the shop, so you got to drive away and come back and yada yada yada. But I'm going to pull these out in a second and install them. So here we go. So you can see the water's not boiling anymore. It's off the eye, and here they are. Once they're boiling, they just are a little bit more forgiving. So then you just start it on the thread and on one edge, and then you're going to pull it over to the other, and you're just going to work it down with your fingernails and draw it all the way down to the pocket. There's like a little pocket right here between the base of the head and then the threads. They're going to go in there. So now they're ready to be installed. Now I pulled the turbo back off, and I'm pulling all these Hydro Boost lines out. Pull this tank reservoir line off, and then I've got an SVE kit that goes to braided lines so I can get rid of all these hard lines in my way. Right now I'm struggling to get the fitting off the high pressure line off the pump, so that's going to be my next fiasco. So here we go. Now I'm going to undo, focus, those lines right there. I'm going to do these two lines. They come up through here, and then I'm going to install the fittings that goes up to the Hydro Boost. Up now. Oh, knuckle buster there. Undo them lines right there. Already broke one loose. I was lucky enough that I did not bust my knuckles. I'll get these out and get right back at it. So I've got those lines off there. You can see they're not there anymore. They're right there in the pan draining. And then next I've got to get this high pressure line off the power steering pump. This one right here. So let's get off there, and then I can unbox the new kit and install it. Alright, so I've got the LMR SVE braided Hydro Boost line kit. Here you can see these are the fittings that I bulled earlier, the nylon seals to install onto these adapter fittings. This is going on the pump. I think this one's going to go on the rack. And I don't believe I'll be using this one because there's a hard line right there. I think that replaces that one. But I've got laid out. I've got the power by the hour pump reservoir bracket. I'll install it on the block on the head side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this ready and install it. So I know that both these fittings come wrapped up. You can see them. They got their own little crush washers. Well, the kit they send you has new ones. So we got these and then these. So you'll swap those with the ones that come already pre-installed on the fittings, and then install the banjo fittings onto the hydro boost system on the firewall. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that swapped out and then start installing it. Alright, so I'm gonna snug these up. This is a 24mm socket. They're pretty tight now. Hold it down so they don't move. And that looks straight. So I got both these lines. And this one has a 90 on it. This is the one that's going to go closest to the fender. And then this is going to go down to the rack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snake it down in between the proportion valve here and the frame rail, the lines. Just run it straight down, and you're gonna have to kink it a little bit and snake it in here. And just, it might take you a second to get it started. And you want to do this with your, by hand. Don't try to use any tools because you just mess the threads up. So start it by hand first. That one's started now, so I'll just come back up here with this. Run it up. I won't snug it. I'm just going to run it up till it just about stops. Alright, so there's that. Now this one, I'm going to run in front of the header to the power steering pump. I'll lay it over top of the other one and go straight into this fitting here. Same thing, start by hand. It can be a little tricky. There we go. I'll run it down. I'm not going to tighten it up too tight. I'm just going to run it down. Once I get everything installed, I'll snug it up because these will help you keep the banjo fitting in place when you're tightening it up. It won't try to twist. Every time you try to tighten it now, it'll try to move. So having the line installed and tighten it up will make it easier to keep the line in place and straight, or wherever you want to angle it towards. So let's give you a look here. So you can see I've got one hose right here snaked behind the lines, in between the frame and lines, and this one's in front of the headers. And I'll make sure it won't be on the header when I get done. You just follow it up, and boom, everything's right there. And this will 90 off and snake, and it just looks so good, better than the factory stuff. It's all bulky. So now I'm gonna do the rack fitting and the power steering pump fitting. Man, has this been kicking my butt. So what I had to do is, at first I had the fittings. They give you two different options the way to run this. So what I did is I had an AN fitting on the top, but I needed just the one on the bottom because it comes with this one hard line that goes to the cooler. So I put this fitting in first, and then I started this one, and then I screwed it in, and I had to put this line on first before I could put it on up top. I had to undo what I had and restart. So what it is this hard bend here, I had to do it first and then push the hose up and connect it up to the Hydro Boost system. So normally this hose would come right through here, but this header's in the way, so it would come straight down and boom. But where the turbo manifolds face forward, I had to kink it. It's not actually kinked, it's just folded. But I had to fold it and screw it down, tighten it up, then run the hose to the top. And I'll get up here, and you can see now where the one comes off the pump there, and there's one down the rack. One comes the front side, and you see the back side there where it comes up. So now, here they are. So you got this one right here towards the fender, goes to the rack. The top one goes to the pump, and you can see how it ran it down through there, under the manifold, through the rack, there. So, it looks better. It's a lot easier moving around stuff. The factory stuff's so bulky. So, now what I'm going to do is, since I got the pump side done as well, there it is. I got the clutch cable zip tied to it. And I'm going to use something to pull it away from that a little bit here soon. What I want to do real quick is go ahead and mount the power steering reservoir bracket and do the reservoir lines, but getting somewhere with it now. Once I'm done, I'll go and snug them fittings up a little bit better. It's easier to snug them up when I got the lines on them so I can hold them. But yeah, anybody doing a turbo setup, the kit will be perfect. It just takes a little finesse to get it to work, but definitely better than keeping all the factory stuff here. I've got the reservoir bracket on. It's got 2 bolts and a spacer. Spacer's going to go on the back side. But as you can see, the reservoir's not going to go here. It's going to hit the fuse box. Of course, it ain't even going to try to go. It's going to take up this whole space. So what I'm going to do is build a bracket that goes from here all the way out to here and puts the reservoir there. So let's see. This is what I'm going to do. Just build a spacer that comes out. I already made a cardboard template, so I'm going to go ahead and build it out. It's not going to be a day today, of course. I've got to get some more work done on this, so I'm going to come back to that, and I'm going to go ahead and do the knock sensors, tighten them down, and put the knock sensor harness in, bolt the intake on, because I really want to get this sealed up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I've kind of conceded for the day. As you'll see in the video, I've got the whole Hydro Boost to power steering reservoir or pump done. Still got to make the bracket for the reservoir. Got to finish the reservoir lines to the cooler. But beyond that, as you can see, I got the intake on, bolted down. I went ahead and got these cooling lines kind of mocked up. This one's got to reduce down to 5/8, so somewhere down towards the end I'll reduce it down to 5/8 to go to this side of the heater core. This one stays 3/4 3/4. I'm going to get some like a mesh covering to put on this. Get this label off here. But I want the mesh braiding to kind of match what's going to go in here as well. I've got that to go on there. Try to make it look as factory as possible. I need to get a 180 thermostat because I'm about to finalize all this stuff, so I want to make sure I don't have to get back in there. I've got this. I've got a tap for the coolant sensor. Got the computer hole cut out there, so the computer will be. I've got a clamp on order for the backside here, and a few more different bends for the charge side. So those are the things I'm waiting on before I finalize that. This AC cold line, I've got to get one more fitting and this whole AC system's done. I went ahead and crimped the high pressure side, which you'll see in, you've already seen in the video. This I need to remove. This is the old MAF sensor connector. We don't use that, but it's coming along. Hopefully be able to really hustle here now and get on this. So next time I come back, turbo should actually be permanently on, thermostat in. We'll do the sensor fittings for the hose clamps, put some stock injectors in because I want to start it up on the factory control pack tune. So I'm going to put some stock injectors in there. Have a MAF bung welded on. We're waiting on it to come in. It's ordered. I got to cap off a couple of these vacuum ports. And it's, you know, each time I come it gets closer and closer. Unfortunately, it just takes time to do this stuff, and I want it to look like it's as nearly as stock as possible in here. I don't want anything bulky or bare. I just want it to look well finished, and it takes time to do stuff like that, and in the end it's worth it. So I appreciate people who do message me and watch some of the videos I do. They're not the best, but you know, I'm trying. Some of this stuff just don't go out like you plan it. Sometimes you hit road bumps and it just stops you immediately. Like you can't go any further until you get parts in. So it's hard to make stuff like this. I give props to the guys that do it all the time. So I'm at a standstill now. I've got to run some errands, get my hair cut, and you know, wait for some of the parts come in, and man, you know, I'll just keep plugging away. But I'm really wanting to hurry up and get this thing done because I really like to put a lift right here where this car sits at and possibly do more things. So I'm signing off. Y'all have a good one.